Well, right now, a big concern from a lot of folks are the roads, with the conditions expected to only get worse over the next 24 hours. Has been mentioned that black ice that we are expecting. The North Carolina Department of Transportation tells us that they spent the week preparing, spreading that salt and brine across hundreds of miles of roads across the state. You'll probably see those lines if you're out and about today.
Jen Goodwin from the North Carolina Department of Transportation joins us right now for an update. Jen, good to talk to you again. It's been a while. Bring us up to speed. Where do your crews stand right now at 10 in the morning?
Good morning. It has been a while, and this is our third event so far of the season, and we're ready for whatever comes to the Charlotte Metro. We actually have crews that are starting to stage around the area. So if you're driving some of our interstates, you might see some of our contract crews out there already, and they are preparing for whatever comes, whether it's snow, sleet, freezing rain. We're ready for all of it, but we encourage folks to please stay off the roads if at all possible, minimize your travel, and especially as you were mentioning, the potential for the temperatures to really dip down tonight and cause some problems in the morning if you do have to drive into work, because it is going to be very cold and there will be a lot of potential for ice, and especially black ice. And so we're keeping an eye on that too as we progress throughout the day.
Jen, we're early on in this right now, particularly for Charlotte. We've already started to see some snow coming down in the mountains. But how does that work change for you over the next couple of hours as we get into the thick of the storm?
So we have done the pre-treating with putting all the brine down on the roads that you have seen with a lot of the streaks on the roadway. So that's a mixture of water and 23% salt, and that is our most cost-effective way to pre-treat roads. It usually costs about $6 to make 1 gallon of brine, and so we can make that pretty quickly. And we have already put down over 1 million gallons of brine statewide on all of our bare pavement system. So now what we do is we shift gears and we look to get our spreaders out and our plows out in some areas where they might be needed. And we are also going to have all of our crews on rotating 12-hour shifts throughout this entire event, no matter how long it takes to get all of our roads clear. And so now we are at the point where we're staging our crews, contract crews around potential areas where there might be some problems. And then we have good relationships with a lot of the first responders that work throughout the Charlotte metro region, where if they see something that could be a problem, they can contact us and we can come out with a sand truck or a salt truck, and we can apply materials to try to help to melt any ice or to provide some extra traction. But the message still we want to convey is, if at all possible, to not drive at all, stay home and just let our crews do their work and have plenty of room to do it.
And Jen, explain to us, why is that brine solution, you say it's cost effective, but also it's just in general more effective in a lot of situations. Explain that to us, who a lot of times people think, oh no, just the rock salt, that's the best way to go.
Well, that's a little bit more expensive, the rock salt is, and the brine is what we use potentially to keep the ice from forming. So if we have about 48 hours of dry weather before a storm arrives, that's the best window to apply it. And so we've had that. And we've also had temperatures above 18 degrees. So that is another check for us in our box. And also it just is a good way to keep ice from bonding to the pavement. So that's usually our first method of attack. So I know other states have other methods, but they may have different types of precipitation. They might have white fluffy snow versus really wet slushy snow, and the Charlotte region seems to always get a mixed bag. We're always on that line. And also if you go just a little bit further north, like to northern Mecklenburg or into southern Iredell, where you might see an inch or a little bit more than that of snow, but down in uptown Charlotte you might see just a trace. And so we always have to kind of pivot and rearrange what our plans are to what the weather dictates.
Yeah, Jen, as we talk about this, a lot of folks maybe even give you guys a little bit of flack whenever these storms come in. Was there enough done? Was there not enough done? But I know that your crews work so hard every day, and this is your business to make sure that everyone's safe. Can you talk about just how hard, not only that they work today, but in the days leading up to it, to make sure that everyone is safe?
Sure. I mean, we start this even as far back as the fall. When we get ready for a winter weather season, we in the fall will check our salt and sand quantities and make sure that we have enough. And we also check all of our equipment to make sure everything's in proper working order, everything from our spreaders and our plows to our chainsaws, because I haven't even mentioned the possibility of trees coming down or, limbs getting tangled up in power lines. So we have to be able to what we call cut and shove those limbs and be able to push them out of the way to get the road back open again. And then we also have to make sure all of our employees are aware of what their assigned route will be when a winter event comes. And so during the fall, we have what we call dry runs, and they will take that route and they'll make sure that they drive it and know exactly what their assignment is when the time comes.
Jen Goodwin, formerly Jen Thompson with NCDOT. Always good to talk to you, and please give our best to all the road crews out there who are working hard day and night over the next 24 hours.